Hi everyone, welcome to today's Feel Good Yoga Flow. This class is a dynamic Vinyasa style sequence, and we're really going to work on elevating our mood, reconnecting with the breath, the mind, and the body. When you're ready, I invite you to adopt a comfortable seated position, perhaps closing the eyes, and beginning to tune into the breath. Maybe reminding yourself of why it is you decided to show up here today. Or you might like to set an intention for today's practice. From here, we'll commence with some shoulder warm-ups, joining the fingers together on top of the shoulders. Inhale, join the elbows, raise the elbows skywards. Exhale, roll the elbows down and around, and again. Finding some external shoulder rotation, creating length through the vertebral column. Seeing if you can create space between the shoulders and the earlobes. And we'll reverse the direction. This time finding some internal shoulder rotation. Working on warming up the joints as we flow through a full range of motion. Well done. Inhale, extend the arms skywards. Exhale, twist to the left. Tenting up onto the left fingertips behind you, maybe gazing behind that left shoulder. Inhale, returning to center. Well done. Swapping the cross of the legs so that the opposite shin is in front. Inhale, raise the arms skywards. Exhale, twist to the right. Finding length and seeing if you can twist a little more with every exhalation. Mindfully returning to center. Roll the shoulders back. From here, walking the left fingertips out to the edge of the mat, lowering onto the forearms, stretching the right arm overhead, side body stretch. Inhale, center. Taking this stretch on the other side. A few more times like this. This is a beautiful way to invite mobility into the torso, perhaps after a bout of sedentary activity or a night of rest. Breathing into each sensation, doing your best to be present. No judgment. Well done. From here, we'll turn to face the short edge of our mat, coming into a tabletop position on all fours. Engaging the abdominals, finding length along the back of the neck. And from here, we'll begin to create some circular motions as we guide the hips towards the heels and the shoulders over the wrists. Moving in any way that feels nourishing for you. Perhaps swapping the direction. Returning to tabletop position, flipping the grip so that the wrists are facing forwards, fingertips are facing towards the knees, and we'll begin to shift our weight forwards and backwards, feeling a beautiful stretch for the forearms, the wrists. Flipping the grip again, fingertips facing towards one another, palms facing skywards. And you might like to circle the shoulders around the wrists. Keeping the arms as they are, we're going to gently come into some push-ups, really working on wrist strength here, moving with control. Elbows open out wide to the side. Shoulders are staying in line with the wrists. Once more. And from here we'll make fists, again finding any restorative movement here as we warm up the wrists and the hands. Swapping the grip once more, palms facing skywards, fingertips facing towards the earth, and again shifting your weight forwards and backwards. You might notice a limited range of mobility here, and that is okay. This is a practice. Making fists, we'll do this again. Well done. Gently release, returning to a traditional tabletop. From here, we'll take a traditional cat-cow. Inhale, scoop the chest forwards. Exhale, press into the palms, curl and round, chin to chest. Inhale, spinal extension. Exhale, spinal flexion. A few more times, finding your cadence. Once more, and we'll meet in a tabletop position. From here, grounding down through the palms, extending the left leg back, tucking the toes, shifting the weight forwards and backwards slightly, keeping the hips squared, maybe staying here. Or on your inhale, we'll float the left leg up to hip height, foot is flexed, toes are facing towards the earth. Maybe coming into bird dog, raising that right arm up at shoulder height, palm facing towards the midline. Engaging the core here so that we're protecting the lower back. Imagining that you can glue your belly button and your spine together. It's just an intention. And really engaging the quadriceps here to help you straighten behind the knee. And turning on the glutes and the hamstrings to help keep that leg lifted. One more breath here, and we'll begin to draw opposite elbow to opposite knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, extend, and again. Moving with the breath, knowing that you can always slow down the movement. Once more. Returning the right palm underneath the right shoulder, pointing the left toes, and we'll begin to create some one-legged tricep push-ups. Hugging the arms to the torso, lowering the chest down, the face down onto the mat, keeping that leg raised. Once more. Returning to bird dog and finding tiger posture, using the right arm to grab a hold of the left foot, the left ankle, broadening across the heart space, really pressing into the palm, the knuckles, the fingers of that left hand so that we're protecting the wrist. One more breath, gently release, return the right palm and the left leg to the mat, taking one breath in cat pose to find a nice counter posture, and we'll meet in tabletop position, getting set up for the other side, extending the right leg back. Shifting the hips forwards and backwards slightly. Inhale, float the right leg up, really turning on the back body here, engaging the core. Maybe extending the left arm up at shoulder height, bird dog. Slow and controlled breaths. Noticing if the hips are swaying to one side or if that right leg is wanting to externally rotate. Seeing if you can keep the hips squared. Find that equilibrium. One more breath. We'll come into the crunches. Inhale, extend. Exhale, left elbow to right knee, engage the core. Re-extend, and again. Feeling as though you are swimming through molasses, so creating that resistance to really turn on the muscles. Returning the left arm to the earth, pointing the right toes, and we'll come into these tricep push-ups or chaturanga style push-ups. Moving with intention. Once more. Returning to bird dog and using the left hand to grab a hold of the right foot, the right ankle, Virabhadrasana, tiger pose. Softening the muscles of the face. Relaxing the shoulders. Gently release. Well done. Again, taking one breath in cat pose, really breathing into the back ribs. Returning to tabletop position. From here, grounding down through the right palm, pivoting to the left as we extend that left leg. The left toes are facing forwards as we come up into gate pose. Inhale, extend the arms skywards, join the palms together. Exhale, bend to the left, gliding that left arm down the left leg, raising the right arm overhead, finding a beautiful side body stretch. Returning to center a few more times. Staying broad across the heart space. And this time we'll stay down in gate pose. Using abdominal strength here to help support you. Maybe gazing up. One more breath. Inhale, raise the torso. Join the palms together. And this time we'll lower our right arm down on the earth. The right wrist is in line with the right shoulder. And from here we will come into a supported side plank. You might like to place your palm on your belly to help remind you to engage the core muscles, or extend the arms skywards. Inhale, float the leg up to hip height, lower down with control. And again, just like this. Keeping the toes and the kneecap facing forwards so that we're really activating the glute medius, the obliques here. Again, being mindful to use your whole hand for support so that we're protecting our wrist. Squeezing the glutes at the top, squeezing the hips, lowering with control and lifting right back up. Keep that leg up and pulse. The foot is flexed this time. Checking in with the core muscles. You've got this. Gently release, extend the arm overhead, returning to gate pose. Roll the shoulders back and we'll take this on the other side. This time extending the right leg out. The right foot is relatively parallel with the short edge of the mat. And we'll come into these gate pose side body stretches, gliding the right arm down the right leg, left arm overhead. Inhale, center. And again. Finding fluidity. Noticing if you feel any different sensations between both sides of the body. Seeing if you can practice a loving compassion, accepting where you are at in this moment. Pausing in gate pose. Breathe. One more breath. Inhale, return to center. Well done. And from here we'll come into our supported side plank, lowering the left palm onto the earth. Maybe raising the right arm skywards, fingertips reaching towards the sky, or placing your palm on your hip or your abdomen to really turn on those muscles, finding that mind-body awareness. Beginning to lift and lower that top leg. Moving with intention. Remembering that we've just worked the other leg, so if you're feeling it in your supportive leg, know that that is okay. Guide your breath there. Stay present. Breathe through any tension. Keep the leg up and pulse. Small pulses, you've got this. Stay strong. Gently release, well done, stretch it out. Return to gate pose. Turning to face the short edge of the mat, come into tabletop position. Affording yourself a moment to connect with the breath, and we'll come into our first downward facing dog, raising the hips, extending the legs, finding length along the entire posterior chain. It might feel nice to walk out the dog, bending one knee, straightening the other, slightly swaying the hips from side to side. And in your own time, finding stillness, maybe lowering the heels towards the earth, particularly grounding down through the index and the thumb to help support the wrists, the forearms. Inhale, raise the right leg, open the hip. Bend the right knee, guiding the heel towards the glutes, doing your best to keep the shoulders squared. Beginning to create some hip circles, finding some beautiful external rotations. And swapping the direction, this time finding some internal hip rotation. Re-extend the leg, lower it down, downward facing dog, one breath here. Inhale, float the left leg up, open the hip, three-legged dog. Bend the left knee to the glutes. Feeling a beautiful stretch for the outer hips. And beginning to create those lovely hip circles. Really articulating each movement. Inhale, re-extend the leg, lower it down. 3 mindful breaths in down dog. From here, raising the heels up off the mat, we'll come into a spinal roll, lowering the pelvis down, coming up into upward facing dog. Raise the hips, downward facing dog, and again, inhale. Spinal wave to upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog, just like this. And it's as though we're creating an exaggerated and fluid cat-cow motion, so flowing through that spinal flexion and extension. Once more, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. Knowing that you can always pause, take a moment in child's pose and join us when you're ready. And from here we'll walk the palms back towards the feet, coming into a forward fold, maybe finding ragdoll, interlacing your fingers around opposite elbow, allowing the belly, the chest to melt atop of the thighs. Palms on the earth, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, forward fold, and again, inhale, exhale, once more. From here, keeping the right knee bent, extending the left leg and the left arm skywards, rotating the chest to the left, gazing up. This is a beautiful way to stretch into the IT band, the outer hips. Gently release, taking it on the other side. Right leg extends, right arm reaches skywards, left knee is bent. Taking this stretch once more on either side at your own pace. And beginning to roll up into Tadasana, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, float the arms skywards. Exhale, lower the palms to heart center. And lower the arms down by your side. Well done. Affording yourself a moment in mountain pose. Rooting yourself into the earth. Feeling the crown of your head reaching up towards the sky. Breathe. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale, raise the arms skywards. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, walk the arms out into plank pose. Finding full body engagement here. Separating the shoulder blades. And pushing back into down dog. Breathe. Floating up onto the balls of the feet. Raise the right leg, keeping the hips square. Lower down and lift. Just like this. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Really turning on the muscles of the hamstrings, the glute maximus here. This is a great posture for anyone who spends a large portion of the day in a sedentary position. We really get to turn on the muscles that might not be used as much as they could be. Keeping those shoulders squared. Gaze is between the feet. Finding length along the neck. A few more lifts. And from here, guiding the right knee towards the chest, placing the foot down between the palms. Inhale, warrior one. The hips are squared to the front of the mat. The right knee is in line with the ankle. And the back foot is out on a 45-degree angle. Maybe joining the palms together, finding a slight back bend through the upper back as you gaze skywards. One more breath. Pivoting to the left as we come into warrior two. Doing your best to slightly tuck the pelvis so that we are protecting the back. There's no compression, there's no arching in the lower back. Shoulders are in line with the hips, gazing forwards over those right fingertips. Seeing if you can sink those hips a little lower to create that 90-degree angle between the right leg and the surface beneath you. Mindfully guiding the right forearm to the right thigh, coming into extended side angle. Left arm is reaching overhead and imagining as though you can create a straight line between the left fingertips and the left foot. Really engaging the glutes and the outer hips here to support you. One breath. Lowering down into a side lunge, Skandasana. Maybe placing your fingertips on the earth or joining your palms together at heart center, using that right tricep to press into the right leg and help open it up. The left leg is extended, toes and kneecap are facing skywards. Maybe extending the arms out wide like bird wings, gazing up, or finding a bind. This is a really beautiful way to open up the chest, the shoulders, and seeing if you can find an engagement in this posture so we're not collapsing, we're not hammocking into the pose. Returning the palms to heart center. Staying low, we'll take Skandasana on the other side and transition back again a few more times like this, flowing with the breath, moving with intention. This is a beautiful way to strengthen the inner thighs and to stay present when situations appear to be a little uncomfortable. One more round either side, you've got this. This time pausing in Skandasana on the left, right leg is extended, perhaps keeping the palms together at heart center. Maybe finding bird wings or finding a bind. If possible, trying to practice the same variation that you took on the other side so that we can really work on harmonizing and balancing the body. Breathe. If you're in the bind, gently releasing, Pivoting into extended side angle. This time the left forearm is pressing into the left thigh, right arm is extended, maybe gazing up. Breathe. Inhale, use strength to rise up to Warrior Two, knowing that it's okay to adjust your stance, and when you're ready, settling into the posture. Maybe seeing if you can lower those hips a little more, find a little bit more engagement in the lower body. One more breath. And pivoting to Warrior One on the left-hand side. It might be graceful, it might not. Know that each day is different. Hips are squared in this variation, extending the arms. Imagining as though you can scissor your inner thighs together so that we're really lifting up and out of the pelvic ball here. Stay strong. Mindfully lowering the arms down to frame that front foot, and we'll step back into downward facing dog. Well done. Affording yourself a moment to reconnect with the breath, grounding down through the palms, the fingers, raising up onto the balls of the feet, and this time we'll begin to lift and lower that left leg, creating resistance on the way down so that we're really activating the muscles. Staying high on the ball of that right foot. One more lift, and tiger curl the left knee between the arms, and we'll pivot to face the long edge of the mat, extending both legs, coming into a wide-legged standing forward fold, perhaps placing the palms under the shoulders, or you might like to grab onto the ankles, giving yourself permission to soften. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Placing the right palm down, we'll extend the left arm skywards, gaze up. Finding a twist in the torso, but doing your best to keep the hips relatively stable. Mindfully lower down, and taking this on the other side. Noticing any sensations. Noticing any internal dialogue. Once more, taking these stretches on either side, finding your fluidity. Mindfully returning both palms to the earth. Heel toeing the feet in slightly so that the heels are in, toes are out, and we'll roll up into Goddess Pose. Extend the arms overhead, lower the palms to heart center, and we want to ensure that our heels are in line with the knees. Inhale, extend the arms and legs. Exhale, squat. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower down a few more times. Really squeezing the glutes at the top. Finding that energy transfer. This time we'll stay down in Goddess Pose, finding some small pulses, ever so slightly raising those hips and lowering them. Really pressing into the heels to help support you, doing your best to keep the torso elevated. Broadening across the heart space, raise the arms overhead, and we'll find an eagle bind. Crossing one arm over the other, maybe joining the palms together. Staying in Goddess Pose and hold. Inhale, re-extend, release the bind. One breath here. Raise the arms, lower down into a squat. Finding small pulses, you've got this. Breathe through it, smile, and we'll find eagle bind with the other arm on top. This is our last bit of intense work. You can do it. Remind yourself of why you showed up here today. Inhale, release, well done. Heel toe the feet together, heels in, toes out, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, extend the arms skywards, palms to heart center, and we'll lower down into Garland's pose. Pressing the arms into the inner thighs to help open up the hips. Maybe staying here, or again extending the arms out wide, gazing up. Maybe finding a bind. If you notice the hips swaying over to one side, seeing if you can guide your body weight towards the midline, find that distribution. And gently release, well done. And taking your variation of Garland's pose on the other side. Mindful breaths. Stay present with the sensations that you're experiencing. Honoring your practice in this very moment. Returning the palms to heart center, one breath here. And with support from your hands, lowering the sits bones down onto the earth, finding a cross-legged seated position, well done. Reconnecting with the breath. Inhale, raise the arms skywards. Exhale, lower the palms to heart center. And this time making cactus arms. Exhale, curl and round, forearms together. Inhale, broaden across the heart space, gaze up. Finding a variation of a cat-cow with the arms here. From here, interlacing your fingers together behind the back, gazing up. Opening the heart space, releasing any stored emotions. From here, we're going to practice compass pose. It can be quite a demanding hamstring stretch, a shoulder stretch, as well as a hip stretch. So give it a go, and if it's too intense, you're more than welcome to practice any preferred asana of your choice. From a cross-legged position, keeping the right leg as it is, we're going to gently cradle our left leg with our arms, placing the knee in one elbow and the foot in the opposite elbow, gently cradling that leg from side to side. And from here, imagining as though our leg is the strap of a backpack and we want to get that strap on our shoulder. Once you feel that your leg is relatively supported by your shoulder, we're going to use our left palm to grab a hold of the right heel from the blade edge, extending the right arm on the floor, and using leg strength to help raise that leg, maybe flexing or pointing the foot, And using the right shoulder to help push into that leg to open it so that we're broadening across the heart space. Gazing up towards the left. And gently release. Well done. Roll the shoulders, take any movement that feels good. From here, getting set up to take this on the other side. This time the right leg stays crossed, cradling the left leg, releasing any tension that might be stagnating around the outer hip, the knee, and this time putting on the strap of the backpack, doing your best to guide your knee on top of the shoulder, using your right arm, your right hand to grab a hold of the heel of the left leg, the left foot, and extending that left leg behind you as you gaze up, broaden across the heart space, keeping that left arm extended and using the shoulder to press into that left leg. And release. Well done. From here, we're going to try another variation of compass or sundial pose. This time the legs are extended. This might be more accessible, it might not. It really depends on each unique body type. Keeping the left leg as it is, we will again cradle our right leg, finding that nice release, ensuring that we're lovely and opened. Again, putting on the strap of the backpack as we guide the right knee on top of the right shoulder, using the left palm to grab the outer edge of that right heel and raising that leg, staying strong. Gently release. Well done. Maybe finding some internal and external hip rotation. For the purpose of the demonstration, I'm going to swap sides, but you can stay where you are. And this time we'll practice sundial pose with the other leg. So keeping the right leg extended, bending the left knee and grabbing a hold of the left leg with both arms, cradling that leg. Finding some beautiful movement, staying mindful. And when you feel ready, putting on the backpack, using your arm, your shoulder for support. Really doing your best to keep the torso elevated as you extend that left leg. Broaden across the shoulders, broaden across the heart space. One more breath. Mindfully release. Well done, friends. Again, taking any movement that feels restorative. And when you're ready, we'll come into a comfortable seated position to close practice. Perhaps closing the eyes, rolling the shoulders back. Giving yourself permission to soften. Let us close practice in a space of gratitude, honoring the strength and the courage that was demonstrated showing up here today. Joining the palms together at heart center. Thank you all so much for today. Namaste.